Okay. So, okay. Re-explanation. This is a even peyote stitch made into a rainbow cuff. These will be listed on my Etsy soon, but I decided I should probably get my stock up because I expect these might sell a little bit better than some of my other options. So this is the first one. Now I need to start working on the rest. First, I gotta cut some string. I should have scraps. Oh. Should have scrap string somewhere. My bad about that. My parent came in. Oh. Yeah, we had an issue with someone entering the room. And there's more people. Hold on. I'm disconnected. Okay. My apologies about the disconnecting. I am going to find some string, which I should have some scraps. String in my backpack. My craft bag. Okay, it looks like I don't actually have any scrap string. So I'm just gonna cut some from this. I use clear elastic, which is not actually the best. It is recommended for bigger projects like this. You use fishing line, but I don't own fishing line. I use about a arm's length for cuffs, but I will often end up having to tie more on because I have very small arms, I guess. Which, that's not my fault, guys. Alright, so cut your string. I don't really know if y'all want to just see me make it, or if y'all want me to actually explain how I make this. Because this did take me a while. This did take me a while to learn, and if I could teach anyone, that would be really, I would be happy to do so. But I'm just gonna start making the off of. So first, get 2 reds. The reds kinda look like pink in real life, but that is okay. It's okay, guys. And then orange. Two yellow. You gotta check the yellow are the same because the yellow have very similar shades. Because I bought the Walmart packs. Don't trust Walmart. Kidding, of course. Yeah, these are pony beads. You can find them at Walmart. I ordered my first sets online. Don't do that. I mean, you will get more variety, and sometimes you'll get, fancy beads, like little stars and stuff. Or, this little flower that is on my chromie. Actually only about $3, and you get a variety of shades. But hey, that's just me. What am I making? This is a cuff, a rainbow cuff. It uses the even peyote stitch, if you know what that is. I didn't know what it was for a while. It basically is just you build a line and then you just keep building off of it, and then you what's it called? Tie it off. I actually have very shaky hands, so I don't know why I decided this should be my hobby. But hey, that's just me. blue and then purple. And then at this point, gotta check that the bone will stay in place. Okay, sometimes I forget this step. You gotta pull your right string out. I don't know my left from my right. Add your purple. And then bring it around. And that builds off. Gosh. I'm getting my beads out of the way. They are causing me a bit of issues. I'm gonna be unable to see chat for a few seconds, but that's just so I can focus on actually remembering how to make these. Oh, because sometimes stuff like that will happen, and you have to tighten it up. But once you get over to this corner, it's okay, it'll tighten up, and it should be good. I know I'm gonna eventually run out of beads, so I probably won't be able to finish this cuff tonight, especially because it's kindly late, I'd figure. And I need to wake up early in the morning, which this was probably a poor decision on my part to start making stuff. But hey, we are nothing but poor decision makers. And that is true. When you're using a ladder stitch, which I dislike ladder stitches, I think everyone dislikes ladder stitches, you can't pull on your string very hard. And because I made a lot of things with them, I got into the habit of not pulling on string very hard. But with these, you can. And that actually is very useful because it will keep your string tension up. And if you have high string tension, it will be less likely to fall apart, especially when you're trying to tie it off. And you don't want your stuff to fall apart. That's bad. I know, I'm so smart. Okay, we've got 3 rows so far. And we get to make 24. This is gonna take a bit. I swear, YouTube, I don't want to add a Q&A sticker. I don't want people to, like, have to answer questions. YouTube is kind of weird with lives. I've never really done a lot of lives that weren't art streams, but I figure that people like this. Well, thank you guys. Y'all are very, very nice. Yeah, I've learned that this community is very kind, and that's very, very fun. It's... Oh, lost bead. Let's not lose any beads, because losing beads... I have a habit of dropping beads, like, when I'm in, like, a car or at somewhere in public, and so people will just, like, find a bead and be like, where did that come from? Yeah, it came from me. Yeah, I need to... Once you do get into, like, the rhythm of it, making it does get a lot faster. Oh. It's like knitting or sewing almost. which I never really got into knitting. I never learned how. Tried crochet, couldn't figure it out, but sewing I can do. I have sewn some actual stuff. Yeah, I do try and stay pretty positive. I used to be a bit of a pessimist, and I don't know, I just found it, like, boring, I guess? It's not really the right word, but I try to be having a good time, and I am. I get to do things that I like, and people get to enjoy what I make, and I'd say that's a pretty well win-win situation. And I may not know everything about how to make everything, but I'm learning. And you gotta start somewhere. And that's all you gotta think about. You start somewhere. Wow. Didn't mean to get philosophical. I was just trying to make some stuff, but hey, if we want to get philosophical with it, have a... Oh, well, people wouldn't get that. Oh, and that's an issue that can happen sometimes. You'll pull on this string and the orange will pull off. What you gotta do is adjust your red to where it is across the edge, and then it will pull, and it will not pull the orange off. I am running a bit low on beads, which means I will have to scavenge around in my craft bag like a little raccoon for a minute to find more. So that is a bit boring, but that's okay. I think I'm probably making people fall asleep right now because this is a very calming task. Just play some like soothing piano music, pull out my keyboard, make everyone fall asleep. If I make them fall asleep, they'll stay on stream longer. Ooh. No, that's a joke. Oh, well, gotta make sure you don't get it caught on the wrong part. There is... Oh yeah. That'll be a psychology major. Honestly, I've heard most psychology majors, like, hate it. I don't know if that's true or not. I've also heard that English is a really highly regretted major, which is kind of concerning. But you know what nobody regrets? Anthropology. And I'm gonna be an anthropologist. Trust. If I don't become a candy maker. And this is the point where we dig around in a bag. I think those look like they're the same shade. I hope I'm not colorblind, because more and more evidence is popping up, and it's making it appear I might be colorblind, because I be looking at things, and I go, those are purple. Those are definitely, and they're definitely not purple, and those are different shades. You may not be able to see it on stream, because, I don't know, for some reason recordings distort color, but it is a different shade, which is unfortunate. If it's only one dot that's a different color, you notice it more than if you make it a bunch of mistakes. I've got oranges, but no yellows. Lost bead. It's okay though. Oh, here we go. Different shade. Oh, I didn't order... Are there brown beads? Well, whatever. Even if I'm colorblind, I can at least tell when shades are similar. Hopefully. If y'all order something from me and the colors are wrong, y'all know why. But it's okay. Well, it's actually not. It's kind of a big part of the thing that I get the colors correct, but it's okay. It should be okay. And I also get my friend to check before I send anything out to make sure. No brown? Oh. I get my friend to check before I send anything out that I haven't made any mistakes, because they've got a very good eye for things like that, where they can point out things that are wrong and I can go back in and fix it. Oh, I think the brown bead thing was a joke. My apologies, I did not understand. I get it now. Now it's funny. Oh my gosh. Sorry about I'm pretty slow on the uptick, I've been told. And yeah, it's proven more every day. I swear. Guys, I don't know what this. Oh, that's the whole joke. There is a whole joke. Okay. Well, I'm just gonna put this right here so I can grab the colors I need out, which I think are these reds. That's pink, I think. That's red. And that's orange. Let's go, guys. I feel like a kindergartner. Where does that go? That's right, in the square hole. Wait. No, they're the same shade. Trust. Trust. Now, what to do with those? We leave them there. That becomes a later problem. Procrastination. It's beneficial. Okay. I'm wondering if I could make like one of these, but it curves like this, and there's little clouds on the side. That would be pretty freaking cool. Like the imagination. Okay, so this is gonna be kind of annoying. I have run out of string, which means I must cut this string and add it onto here. Anytime I add on string, it has a habit of slipping off. And I would not like for that to happen again, because then you lose all your beads. Okay. Tie this onto the string. If I had string to spare, I would probably just get like 2 arms length if you want to make something like this, or maybe even 3 if I'm doing my math correctly. But I try to salvage my string as much as possible because I don't feel like buying it. And also, why be wasteful? That would be dumb. Reduce, reuse, ikiki. I feel like, I don't know. I don't want to say my age is showing. I'm not old. I'm not old, trust. I guess my taste is showing. My comedic tastes. I have no more yellow. Who doesn't love running out of yellow? Oh, there's one. There's a lost bead. This, yes. Well, it's not string, it's elastic, I think. You know, I should probably learn what I'm using. Yeah, clear elastic string. It came with the, what's it called? Like, the set I ordered. You can order these, like, in bulk. And They come on pretty large spools, so I've made all of this and all of this with that one thing of string. So yeah, it should last a long while. We're gonna ignore the fact they just like pulled all that out of thin air. It's just sitting there like slightly off screen, but we ignore. It doesn't exist. We focus on the present. I should also cut the excess, but if I do, I know it's more likely that it'll get pulled off. So I cut the excess off at the very end. I don't know why it makes it more likely, it just happens. When I cut the excess off, it always falls off. I guess sometimes I end up cutting the knot. When you cut the knot, it obviously is done. No more string. Yeah, getting the urge to cut off the extra because it's getting in my way. But, you know, I've got this thing called foresight, so I know I shouldn't. It's not hard to tie. You just have to make sure you tie multiple times or it will slip off. I used to try and use, like, I would heat the string up after I tied it, hoping that it would do what yarn does and like fuse together, but it does not do that. That causes it to melt and slip off. Don't do that. Don't do that. Just make sure you tie it about 2 to 3 times. 4 if you want it to be really secure, but if you that's wrong. Sorry. But if you do 4 times, then the knot will be kind of big, and that can be an issue of it getting your string in the way. And I just realized that I put this yellow where a green should be. Guys, I swear I'm not colorblind. Trust. I know everyone does dog on clear elastic string, but it's in it because it is generic and it is kind of like hard to get used to, but once you do, it's okay. I would prefer to use fishing line for something like this, but I don't have it, like I said. Alright, how many rows are we on? I want to give an estimate of how long this should take, because I can just multiply how long the stream's been going by however many times the rows I need. That's right, guys. I can do math. 3, 6, 8. And we need that times 3, so it takes about... It's basically fishing line, except a less thick and a lot less, like, sturdy fishing line. You can pull on a lot more without it, like, snapping. And this, you can get some, like, good tension on it, but I'm always afraid to pull on it too hard for fear that it will break. And if something like this breaks in the middle of a project, then your whole project goes kaput, which is not good. But yeah, this is probably gonna take an hour if I'm doing my math correctly, but maybe if I get in the zone, then it'll go quicker. Oh my gosh, what is happening? Okay, so pulling on it is causing it to kind of fall weirdly. Oh, I see what's happening. The string got caught around another bead and it was pulling on it, which was causing the whole thing to get pulled. You do got to be careful with that, because if you are using a clear string, sometimes it'll get caught on something and you will not notice, which is not good. But it's okay, because oftentimes you can like see it pulling on something and you'll be like, hey, what's up over there? So, like an idiot, you investigate. No, I'm kidding. And then you find out what's wrong. But if you are in a horror movie, don't investigate. See, that's the good policy to have. Because if you investigate in a horror movie, you dead. There's some green. Here's some... I just call it purple green. Guys, it's fine. Colorblind people can still make art. Those are not the same shade. I don't know what. How much does a fish weigh? Oh, it kind of depends on your species you catch because sometimes you get a itty bitty little sunfish and then you cry because you can't eat dinner because you can't eat the sunfish. And sometimes the laws say you can't eat that fish. But sometimes you find a big old catfish and then you rejoice because you will have catfish. And catfish tastes pretty good if it's cooked right. And you must rejoice. I like catfish, personally. I used to actually work, like, at a fish place. And so I kind of got tired of it because you eat fish every day. You get tired. I think that's, like, a thing. Wherever you work, you get tired of the food. Also, their fish was just kind of bad. And maybe that's because I was the one cooking it. But they would be like, cook the fish. And I would, and then I would be like, it's done, it's crispy. And they'd be like, no, throw it in for 5 more minutes. 5 more minutes. In an industrial deep fryer. That fish was too crispy to eat. But hey, everyone loved it apparently. No more yellow. Apparently yellow must hate me because that's the color I keep running out of and having to go dig for. And then I end up finding green. Which, hey, I'm not mad about finding green. I need green too. But what I really need is some yellow. And... oh. Hey, at least if I'm losing these beads, I'm losing them in a place where I can just find them later and be like, oh hey, I lost that like 3 weeks ago. I don't sound like that. Why did I switch into Eric Cartman? We'll never know. I'm gonna fire Eric Cartman impression, try. Oh yeah, I don't know how the completed one got out of frame. I'm just kind of scooting everything out of it. But that's the completed one. Here is... no, string go in the hole. Thank you. Thank you. Sometimes when you put the string in the hole, it'll go too far and then you gotta fish it out. Just like a fish, perchance. Okay, so the thing about making candy, it can be easy, or you can be me, and you can be like, oh my gosh, for my first project, I'm gonna make a bow tie, or a whole tie. And then you're like, oh, because you learn that there's so many parts, and then you have to make a pattern, and all this stuff. So don't make ties, start simple, make like, a bunch of singles, or some little Hello Kitties that I found on, what's it called? Pinterest. Yes, Pinterest. Pinterest is your best friend. Pinterest is everyone's best friend. But basically, yeah, cuffs and stuff, once you learn the different stitches, because there are different types of stitches, are a bit different because there is the multi-stitch, and the multi-stitch is what I learned first. You will make a single, which is just a bracelet, and then you will, I'm gonna start making tutorials, trust. And you just kind of go every other bead up and down, up and down. I don't have an example right now. And then you go through that, and then you do it again. But for this one, what you do, you get you get a long string, fold in half, put 2 beads, put 1 bead, 2, 1, keep going for however long you want. But you gotta make sure you end with 1. Because if you end with 2, then that's a different type of stitch called an odd. Peyote stitch, this is even. And then you take your right string, you pull it, put the last color you ended on it, and put it, oh, okay, this is hard to explain. The right string would be right here, and there would be a bead right here. You put it through this one, and then you just go this way and add a bead of the right color, and then you'll end up on the outside here. And then you'll just keep going this way, and then you'll go back and forth. And it's that easy once you get it started. It's just the beginning bit that is confusing, and there's a lot of tutorials on YouTube, and a few of them do not teach the same way because everyone has a different method. Well, not a different method, like a different way of explaining, because everyone's brains work a little bit differently. Oh, and lost speed. And so basically, you just gotta find a tutorial that works for you, because the ones that I found work were by this one guy that I forgot the name of, but I'll drop the link in a post later or something. And that's how I learned personally, but there are different methods. Math sucks. I don't like math. I'm really bad at math. Because currently we're learning this thing called what's it called? Something weird, and it's about physics, and I'm like, we're in math class, not physics. Please let me go. And so we learned physics, and I'm just crying in the corner. But it's getting better. I guess there's a bit of math involved in everything. Because with this, you gotta, do math. It's like, how much string should I use? How many beads will I need? Because with these, okay, my wrists are kind of weird. So I had to, kind of guesstimate how big this would be for most people. Because it's not the same for me, because this is a little small on me. It's actually pretty good fitting now that I found out the right number of beads. But when I used to make them, they were too small. And I'd say, honestly, having something too small is worse than having it too big. Because if it's too big, you can put it, down here. Well, down here on your arm or something, and, layer a bunch of stuff. But it's too small. You're just like, I have no circulation in my arm. Help. And that is why you gotta be careful with wearing Kandi sometimes. I'm definitely gonna start uploading tutorials, I'd say, because I wish more people, I would like if more people would learn. I just gotta get good at explaining things, which is not my forte. I just kind of yap, and the yapping is kind of what I do. It's just this random thing. Oh my gosh. All my letters and my white beads. I have a lot of white beads because one time I was like, I'm gonna make these cool bone gloves. Actually, I have them in my bag. I don't remember where I found the tutorial for this. It is on YouTube somewhere. So you can make these yourself. This is the wrong arm. So basically, they're not completed yet, but this is an example of one of the fingers. These are not made for me, so they are a bit not fit for me, but you will have these are meant to be bones, and you have the white for the bone, and the black is where your joint knuckle is. And when they are completed, there will be a ring around here that attaches, and that will allow it to sit on your hand without kind of flopping like this. These just aren't done yet. I'm also going to add those little black spiky cuffs because I think those are super cool. I just haven't learned how to make them yet. Ignore me dying. I've just been sick for like ever. But hey, it's fine. Got that sickness. That one sickness. The plague. I've got the plague. Cries. No, no, no. Oh my gosh, all my beads. Oh, that didn't happen. That didn't happen. Oh my gosh. Wow, I just popped my back and it felt really good actually. So we have been on stream for like 30 minutes, I think. Oh. Oh no, oh no, I feel death approaching. I'm gonna just go pass out and die. I actually might pass out while making this. It feels like I might. But sleep is for the weak. Sleep is for the weak. And that, yeah, the weak. I'm not weak. Trust. I'm super strong. That's a lie. I don't work out. And I'm not naturally strong either. Sometimes you gotta stretch it out to make it not like curve like this. Because of course the straightest thing you need in Kandi is your rainbow flag. Gotta make sure it's straight, guys. Oh Lord, guys, I'm not being homophobic. I'm kidding, obviously. Well, no, I'm not homophobic. That is true. I was just making a joke about not being. I didn't say any of that. That didn't happen. Y'all were mass hallucinating. I've got a bracelet that says gaslight. That's what it is. I'm actually wearing it right now. Trust. Okay, we are kind of running out of string, and we're also running out of, like, everything, like beads, time, and patience. Which means that when I finish this row, I don't have any orange. Found one. It's like the final one in my bag. Yeah. Oh, it's so curvy, actually, now that I look at it. There we go. Sometimes you just gotta give it a little helping hand. I'm so tired. Wow, there's a draft in my room, and that's not suspicious at all, considering the fact that I have no window in this room. So, guys, I think there's a hole in my wall. Who put a hole in my wall, guys? Yellow? That is yellow. Okay, yeah, we're about to run out of string. So I think once we make it back around to this red, I might have to end the stream because I'm actually so tired. Okay, I do have a window. It's just like, it's a whole thing. The window's just not very functional. Wait, actually, I guess it's too functional if it doesn't let breezes in. And you can't open it because it's like jammed and all this stuff. And I'll get it fixed eventually, hopefully. Did y'all know there's argon in Windows? Well, let me rephrase. So when they put like windows together, they'll sometimes put argon. I'm tying it off. They'll put argon like in between the window panes, and I don't know what happens with that, but it causes it to like be cool looking and your windows to be clear. And that's how, I don't know, window companies stay in business. I don't know. I think it's just cool. And I'm inhaling argon right now, actually, and I'm dying. The carbon monoxide poisoning's getting to me. Just like that one guy. Oh my gosh. So I did tie these two pieces of string together. This is not completed. I think if this fit around anyone's wrist, they would be like a little smurf. Guys, it's all I can afford. It's all I can afford. Yeah, so I'm not a scientist. I just had a very good science teacher, and she told us like these random facts all the time. Like, okay, molybdenum, which is 42 on the periodic table. Oh, guys, okay, right. So molybdenum was used in World War II to create weapons because it has a very, very high melting point, to the point that you could use very large amounts of gunpowder in them and they wouldn't melt or warp because the metal is just that strong. And basically, so they were used a lot, but eventually they were kind of running out of molybdenum. So they were like, hey guys, what do we do? And so they couldn't really use, could only use so many weapons with molybdenum in them, which kind of limited the arsenal people could use. And okay, I'm talking about World War II. So when Germany was asking Italy to join the Axis powers, Italy was kind of like, we don't want to do that right now. At first, we know that didn't exactly stay. So basically, they're like, yeah, if you give us 500 tons of molybdenum, maybe. And so they were like, we can't give them that right now. So it's kind of like a stalling tactic to where they didn't have to join, because they were like, we don't have the resources to go into a world war right now. But eventually they did end up joining the world war, and it's a whole thing. Yeah. So that was my yap about molybdenum. It's not my favorite element. My favorite element is oxygen, which I desperately need. Look, I know this was supposed to be candy making, but I got distracted. Okay, I got 1, 2, 3, 6, 9, 12. I got 12 done. 12 isn't bad. I've gotta go. I've gotta go to bed. I've got a nap. I'll come back later, like 12 hours later type stuff. Yeah, okay. Bye guys. Sorry that I can't stay longer on the stream, but I am gonna crash.